From Wish TV, this is The Zone Extra, presented by Old National Bank. Coming up tonight, it's another busy week of spring sports across central Indiana. In the Coach's Corner, we're joined by the leader of the Lutheran baseball team. Plus, our athlete of the week is one of the leaders of the new Palestine softball program.
I literally love being with these girls. They're great. I mean, over there, they're having a blast, and we're just warming up.
We're off and running with a new Zone Extra right now.
Good evening and welcome to the Zone Extra. I'm Andrew Chernoff. It's a busy time on the high school sports calendar as the spring seasons kick into high gear. In the Coach's Corner, his Saints are coming off a semi-state appearance last year and started the season ranked second in Class 1A. Lutheran head baseball coach Josh Meaney is here in studio. Plus, our athlete of the week is a future IU Hoosier and is leading one of the state's top softball programs. We'll introduce you to New Pal senior Maddie Engle. And in our on-campus segment, we talk about another big-time award for former Westfield basketball star and current Boilermaker Braden Smith. Now let's take a look at this week in high school sports. We'll begin with baseball. On Friday, it was last season's 4A state runner-up Mooresville hosting West Ottawa in the season opener. Bottom first, Mooresville's Dane Browning with the single right there to left. That brings around Tyler Denny. Pioneers take a 1-0 lead. Later in the inning, more from Mooresville. Cooper Schmidt doubles to left. Browning scores from second. Mooresville doubles its lead. Fourth inning, West Ottawa with issues here. A passed ball. Another Mooresville run comes home, and then the throw gets away. You see right there, and another run will score. Mooresville wins it 8-2. So here's a look at the preseason baseball state rankings in 4A. Noblesville is first, Center Grove is second, Lake Central, Valpo, and Crown Point are third, fourth, and fifth respectively. Meanwhile, last week in softball, it was number one Center Grove taking on Fishers. Bottom of the first inning, Center Grove's Brooklyn Groppel with a single right here past the shortstop. That brings home a run. Trojans lead 1-0. In the third inning, more from the Trojans right here. Sarah Riley with the single in the right field. Bryn Meyer scores from second, and all of a sudden Center Grove is up 2-0. Later in the inning, Taylor Barrett bloops this one in the short right field. Groppel would score. Center Grove goes on to win the final 6-1. So here's a look at the 4A softball coaches poll. Center Grove, still number one. HSE is second, while Lake Central, Carroll, and Zionsville are third, fourth, and fifth. Moving to lacrosse, where there was also plenty of great action across central Indiana. Of course, starting next season, girls lacrosse becomes the next IHSAA emerging sport. In boys action on Saturday, it was Roncalli hosting Bloomington South. Second quarter, Roncalli's Alex Parrott right here shoots and scores. Roncalli up 5-2. That was one of 6 goals for Parrott. Later in the quarter, Roncalli's Brendan Merrick behind the goal. Nice move, finds the back of the net. He scored twice in the game. Royals win 18-7. In basketball news, last week, the Indiana boys basketball all-star roster was released, and there are several players from right here in central Indiana on the team. Congrats to Greenfield Central's Braylon Mullins, Desmond Briscoe of Crispus Attucks, New Pals Julius Gizzy, Justin Kirby of Fishers, Lawrence North's Xavier Robinson, and Ben Davis's Mark Zachary. The Indiana All-Stars face the Kentucky All-Stars in June. Also in basketball news, some future college stars were in Fishers last week for Chipotle Nationals. A handful of the best high school teams in the country battled it out at Hamilton Southeastern over the course of several days. That includes boys and girls championships on Saturday, which were nationally televised. HSE Athletic Director Drew Tower says it was exciting being able to host such an event.
Just an incredible opportunity for our high school, for our school district, for our community. And I think it just shows the level that we want to do things at Hamilton Southeastern and just it's basketball in Indiana. I think it doesn't get any better than that with the type of talent, the type of teams. They could pick a lot of different places to host. They picked the Indianapolis area the last 2 years because people are passionate about the game.
Well, time for a break, but we've got much more ahead on the Zone Extra. Up next, it's the Coach's Corner. His Saints, there he is. The Saints have high expectations on the diamond once again this season. That man, Lutheran baseball head coach Josh Meaney, is here in studio. And still ahead, she's a senior leader on one of the state's top softball teams. We'll introduce you to our athlete of the week from New Pal.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Old National Bank. This is the Zone Extra Coach's Corner.
Welcome back to the Zone Extra. Time now for Coach's Corner. His Saints were just one game away from playing in the state finals last season and have high expectations as they get started here in 2025. We want to welcome to the Zone Extra Lutheran head coach Josh Meaney. Josh, always a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Anytime. So another year. What do you like about this group?
Experience. I finally have experience. Very upperclassman heavy. We lost two major players from last year's team, returning everybody else, majority of my pitchers. The one I lost is going to Hanover, so it's pretty cool, but I don't have to reteach, I just have to fine tune.
I was going to say, just having all those guys come back, obviously very senior heavy, how nice is that it feels like they can just go into this year and know exactly what they're doing?
It makes things a lot easier. It makes it easier to game plan, that's for sure, and to practice plan, I guess, for lack of a better term, just so that they can just fine-tuning the little small details. I don't have to teach base running basics, and the baseball IQ is very high, and that's very important to us as a staff. So, and then having the staff we've had together for the last few years has been really incredible, and I can't express how important it is to have a great staff around me to help us be successful.
And it's clearly has led to success. We're looking at footage from practice. First of all, gotta love this weather. I'm ready for spring baseball weather finally. You guys so close to getting to the championship last year. What do you think this team took away from that?
Going back to experience. I mean, that's one of the biggest things. We've been there, we got close, so we know what it's like, and these guys have not been there before. It's the second time this school baseball team has ever been this far. So having all these guys having that experience at that level and to play those games, it's priceless.
The identity of this year's team, you go in every year, offense heavy, defense heavy. Is there some, identity that you think this group's all about?
Well, I guess our motto this year is do your job. To have a team focus, not an individualistic or statistic focus, which is at times tough in this day and age because it's all in your face. But to be out there for each other, because if they're not there playing for each other, we don't stand a chance to get and reach the goals that we want to reach this year, that we know that we are capable of. So just work hard and do your job.
And this is your third year as head coach at Lutheran. I got to ask, you've been coaching longer than that, third year as head coach at Lutheran, no. How have you grown over the course of these last handful of years?
I've grown more than I even sometimes am willing to admit. They have taught me a lot. I have made a lot of mistakes. And through learning these kids, and not everybody is, you can't teach everybody the same way. Everybody has their own ways of doing things and ways of learning. So I have to adjust to that. And my staff helped me tremendously with that. We kind of tag team, overcome and conquer.
It's clearly having an impact on these players. While we were at practice this week, Josh, we did talk to some of your players about what they've learned from you and just what's it like to learn under you as a head coach. Here's what they had to say.
Coach Meaney is just a great coach. He's someone you can relate to. He's always there for you when you need him. He's a great guy outside of coaching and on the field. He's just an amazing person to be around. So, yeah, he really helps our team a lot. He's a great leader, so we can just rely on him to get us through situations, and he's just a great coach to have.
He was here before he became head coach, and he really knows the program. He really bought into it, and I think he does a great job of having his players buy into the program as well. He really makes sure that everybody's driven and really willing to be here, and that's who he puts on the field.
Okay, Josh, what goes through your head when you hear that?
Pride. I work really hard. Thank God that gives me the opportunity to do this and coach these kids and help raise them into great young men, good baseball players. But I want to help their parents raise great young men and teach them fundamentals to life. And just hearing that, it's touching.
No
means
doubt.
a lot.
Obviously, huge impact on those guys. I want to ask about your history. You used to be a Marine.
I did, yes,
Which
sir.
thank you for your service. Are there lessons sort of that you can take from that experience, whether it's teamwork or something that you may have answered this already, but it translates to these guys as a team on the field?
Yes, but going back to lessons I've learned is it doesn't always work that way. I'm not at boot camp, and I'm not I'm not teaching Marines, right? I'm teaching young men that are civilians, that are high school kids, So I learned more about love and compassion, and it's been incredible. And the administration, Lutheran High School as a whole, allowing me to do that, make mistakes, fail falling forward, and then I'm glad that I can impact these guys the way that I do. That's what I'm here for, man.
And that's exactly what you're doing. Let's take a look now at the upcoming schedule for the Lutheran Saints. April 12th, you guys take on Rebuff. Then you see a couple games against Covenant Christian on the 15th and 16th. Southport then on the 21st, and then the 22nd at Beech Grove. Josh, just starting the year strong and getting some good tests, how important is that going to be going forward?
We learned last year that playing these 3A and 4A class schools was very beneficial when we got into the tournament. And once we saw some adversity, we knew how to get through it because we had seen it all year. We didn't win a lot of those games. We kept a lot of them close. I'm sure a little bit had to do with some of them hadn't played us, didn't know a lot about us. So they didn't know really how to game plan for us. We play the same teams this year, and we've actually added more. So I think it's super important to be able to play these type of teams, know what it takes to take a lump, but also how to fight back.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. It is truly the heart of baseball season, and these Lutheran Saints are going to be a team to watch. Josh Meaney, Josh, always appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Best of luck the rest of the way as well.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And I'll tell our meteorologist to bring some good baseball weather finally.
That would be very much appreciated.
This is getting old. No doubt. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you so much.
Still ahead on the Zone Extra, it's time for our Athlete of the Week. She's a senior leader for a softball team with state title aspirations. Coming up, we'll meet New Pal's Maddie Engle. Plus, we go on campus just up the road to Purdue as former Westfield basketball star Braden Smith receives another special award.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Old National Bank.
Welcome back to the Zone Extra. Last season, New Pal softball was one step away from a state title, falling in the championship game. This year, the Dragons once again have high expectations, and a big reason for that optimism is the play of Maddie Engle. The versatile senior has played multiple positions for the Dragons during her high school career. Engle is committed to IU next season as a catcher, but at New Pal, she has also played center field and shortstop. Last year, she hit nearly 400 along with 8 home runs and 38 RBI. As her final high school season begins, Engle says playing with this group of girls is a dream come true.
So excited. I literally love being with these girls. They're great. I mean, over there, they're having a blast, and we're just warming up. So it's great. All of them have great personalities, and they're just a great team to be around, and the seniors have really come together to make this team what it is, and it's just awesome.
She loves the game. She loves to play. She plays hard, plays smart, and she's a very unique player because she can play about everywhere. Her best position's probably catcher. Not many catchers can play center field as well.
I love being a leader. I got to learn from the seniors in front of me the past 3 years, and then I finally got to take stuff from this role and just be able to just fall into that position. And I'm vocal when I have to be and leader by example, like most of the time, I would think.
You know, when you come in as a freshman and you get to play a lot, it's hard. You know, it's just so different than what you're used to when you're playing in front of your community for your school. So the growth from year to year is so important, And what's really incredible is just to see him come in as a shy freshman and leave just an incredible young lady.
Falling into my role and just being able to adjust to all of these things, I would say getting my nerves calmed down as well. I need to learn how to take a step back and realize that it's just a game and just be able to be myself when I play.
Congratulations to Maddie. Do not forget, Wish TV's got a brand new sports app. Get out your phones right now. Scan the QR code on your screen right there and download the completely free All Indiana Sports app. You can find more on this story, plus all things Central Indiana High School sports and so much more. You want the All Indiana Sports app today. Well, it's time for a break, but still more to come here on the Zone Extra, including the latest installment of Ask the Commissioner with Paul Neidig of the IHSAA.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Old National Bank.
Welcome back to the Zone Extra. Time now to go on campus where we catch up with a former Central Indiana High School athlete as he or she competes at the collegiate level. This week we look at another special honor for a Purdue Boilermaker who just keeps racking them up. Former Indiana Mr. Basketball and current Boiler junior guard Braden Smith was named the Bob Cousy Award winner during Final Four weekend. That award is given to the best point guard in all of college basketball. Smith becomes the first Boilermaker to ever receive the honor. He beat out Florida's Walter Clayton Jr. and Tennessee's Zakai Ziegler. Smith had already been named Big Ten Player of the Year, as well as a consensus All-American. And after the latest award, Smith actually received a special congrats from Bob Cousy himself.
If basketball is an art form, it resides in the position of a clever point guard doing his magic on the basketball floor effectively, and I still believe that to be true, and I've seen you play 3 times, and you're a wonderful player. You've got a year left, and I offer my congratulations before, obviously, a successful pro career. So, job well done.
That's some massive praise there from Bob Cousy. Meanwhile, in other on-campus news, a former Indiana Miss Basketball is coming back to the Hoosier State. Bedford North Lawrence grad Chloe Spreen is joining the Hoosiers next season. Spreen was the 2024 Miss Basketball and played her freshman season at Alabama. She will join this year's Miss Basketball, Maya Makaluski, on IU's roster for the upcoming season. And a congrats to former Brownsburg star Lance Lynn, who announced his retirement from Major League Baseball. Lynn was a standout in high school for the Bulldogs, leading them to an unbeaten state championship during his senior season back in 2005. Lynn pitched 13 seasons in the majors for 6 different teams. He was a 2-time All-Star and finished 3rd in the Cy Young voting back in 2021. In his final season last year in Major League Baseball, he went 7-4 with the Cardinals with a 3.84 ERA. Now it's time for Ask the Commissioner. Each week we take one of your questions to IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig and bring you his answer. So here's this week's question. As we watch the start of the boys volleyball season, how much excitement have you seen as the sport enters year 1 as a full IHSAA offering?
Well, again, we've seen a lot of interest. Every day it seems like we have a call from a new team or a new school that's interested in getting in the boys volleyball tournament. And, it's certainly in a growth stage. Not only are boys playing volleyball in the state of Indiana, but they're learning the game of volleyball in the state of Indiana because there's been limited opportunity in the past. And now there's such an opportunity. We do think boys volleyball is going to be the mainstay. It's going to be a sport that's here to stay, and we're going to continue to see growth on an annual basis.
Thank you again to the Commissioner for joining us. So here's how you can submit questions. Send us a tweet using the hashtags ZoneExtra and AskTheCommish, and your question could be used on a future show. That's all for us tonight on the Zone Extra. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to tune in again next Thursday night for a brand new episode. And of course, for even more high school sports coverage, download the All Indiana Sports app. Have a great rest of your night.